Hi, I'm JimmyNavio. Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm back. I'm not dead. I'm alive. I promise. I missed you so much. Had some holiday stuff going on, and then I didn't feel so good. So the streams have been kind of sporadic. Missed a couple weeks of podcasts. But I promise you, we have some exciting things coming up in the next few weeks. I don't want to announce them yet because they're still in the works, but we have some pretty big guests that I'm excited about. Probably not till January. It's really hard with the holidays and everything to lock people down, but soon, I promise. There's going to be many things to come. Reminder before I bring on my co-host, Mr. James28. This is recorded live on Twitch every week, usually on Wednesday nights. We're making an exception tonight. I really wanted to get one out this week, so we're doing it on Tuesday. Usually it's on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. I have real-life work responsibilities tomorrow and Thursday, so unfortunately I won't be streaming or podcasting or anything. So this is it. I'm doing a podcast this week. Get one out. I couldn't go 3 weeks without podcasting. We can't let that happen. That's when habits form. Three times a habit, right? So, also, don't forget this podcast goes out on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. If there's anything that you could do to support the channel, we're trying to get our subscriber count up on YouTube. And I know it's totally the whole cliche, smash the sub button or diddle the bell, all that shit. But really, like, if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, I'd really appreciate it. The more subscribers you have, you know, their whole algorithm and everything, it just increases exposure. You know, eventually, if we get enough people, we can monetize the channel, all that stuff. So it helps. Also, don't forget, we do have a Hit the Bucket t-shirt available in my merch store. Yes, diddle the bell, exactly. And if you want to reach out to us for any reason relating to the podcast specifically, if you want to be a guest, you have a topic, funny video, whatever it might be, you want to be a sponsor, you can hit us up at hitthebucketpodcast@gmail.com. So that is it. That's all the intro cheesy that I have for you. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on my trusty compadre here, Mr. James28. Hi.
Hello there.
Look at that hair.
Oh, thank you.
Movember's over, bro.
I know. I really gotta shave it.
I like it. You should rock it, man.
I'm gonna shave the beard though. It's definitely not filling out the way I was thinking it would. So that's going away.
Yeah.
Maybe keep the mustache, but top of the head, no, that's getting shaved. At least
shaved,
trim.
Yeah,
trim. That's the word. Not shaved.
So, do you reach critical mass where you have to part it where it just won't stick up anymore? Because I noticed you've been parting it it's like gravity has taken hold, and you officially now have to part the Black Sea of hair.
I do. See, my hair goes through stages. When I trim it down really short, it's like I don't have to do anything. It's just short, straight hairs. They just stand up on their own, easy.
Yeah.
But then as it gets a little longer, it's like, all right, I got to push it one way. And then that looks fine. But then as it grows, it starts to fro up a bit. And it's like, all right, that's fine. You got a little pompadour in there. It's all good. But then after it reaches critical mass, the weight of the hair collapses in on itself. And I got to push it down both sides.
You're not feeding it enough pizza rolls. It'll keep going vertical if you fuel it. You got to give it the strength to fight gravity.
Right now, nah.
Your pizza roll intake is not sufficient to support the hair growth. So anyway, so Thanksgiving week, I went glamping with Lady Navio. We went to this, it's called Cava Robles. It's like her parents own one of those massive, like, Rockstar RVs. The thing was ridiculous. I don't know if you saw the pictures I posted in the Discord, but
I was like, "What is that? Is that a full kitchen?"
Yeah, it's the full kitchen,
the dining table, what?
Queen size bed, like ridiculous. So it was a lot of fun, and that resort it had a clubhouse and a pool and hot tub and like
Yeah, like
bocce ball.
You said camping, but it's like it's
No,
basically an outdoor hotel.
I was very deliberate when I said glamping. It was definitely glamour camping. It was and Lady Navio and I actually had a conversation. I was like, man, I could get into this life. Maybe we need to get an RV or a trailer or something. And then I looked around and saw how many like giant Ford F-350s and like the type of people that hang out at these places. And I was like, I don't like Trump enough to do this.
Like, I'm gonna start getting associated with these people. They're gonna start talking to me, and I don't think I can deal with that.
But like a couple times a year, maybe. But like that, her dad's about to retire, and that's been his dream since the day he started working. Like he's got like a financial advisor. Like he's been pumping money into his retirement fund. He's retiring early, I think. His normal retirement age is what, like 65 something.
Yeah, 60, 65.
Yeah, he's done. He's retiring. He's already got the RV. He's like, I think his last week was like this week or next week, and he's off. He's doing his thing. He's already planning like which RV resorts he's gonna stay at, and like that's his life. He accomplished his one goal. To
like I set out. I had a mission going into this, and I have fulfilled that mission, and now I can bask in my glory.
Oh yeah, and
this RV.
I mean, a testament to him and like his ability to stick to that one goal and just save his ass off. And because he didn't go, I mean, if you see the pictures, anyone out there listening, you can join my Discord. The link is on my Twitch channel. He didn't go halfway. It's not a shitty little trailer. He dropped some serious coin on that thing, and good for him. It's pretty awesome. Maybe one day we'll inherit it when he needs an upgrade or something. Who knows? But so that was my Thanksgiving week. So we had to leave Thursday morning. So Wednesday was prep day, and I couldn't do a podcast. And then the week after that, I was sick. So, and then you've been getting your ass kicked by school too. So.
Oh yeah, it's been rough. See, Thanksgiving week, that was all right. I had a nice Thanksgiving with my roommate's family. It was really weird because they're white. And it's like, I'm not used to just like sitting at a table and having a quiet Thanksgiving dinner with like the immediate family. I'm used to like cousins number like 1 through 27 piling into my house and just like chaos.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is odd. But
Yeah.
It was nice. The food was good. His family were very warm and welcoming people. But then right after Thanksgiving break ended, I was like, wait, like that's it? That's the semester? Like, we're this close? Because semester ends next week.
Yeah,
I was not prepared.
I think my alma mater, I think this week is their last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is like Friday's their last day, and then they go on break for like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like Thanksgiving break, and then it's like you're done.
Yeah, Thanksgiving break, and then you go back for like a couple weeks, and then it's just over.
Yeah, because you start getting into the mindset like, oh, it's the final sprint, and it's like, no, it's like you already missed the sprint. You're just walking like towards the end zone right now. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Meshyf liked our title. Bitch lasagna, dude. We're going to talk about the whole PewDiePie thing. We're just kind of catching up a bit, and then we're going to do the Sheefs Beef, and then we'll get into all the topics afterward. But, so I really want to, I probably shouldn't, because I got to reach out to him. It's probably going to happen in January, but we have a developer of a game that I've played on stream a few times, and I want to have him on the
Right, I know
podcast.
who this is.
I've been talking to him, and it's probably going to happen, so stay tuned for that. What else in news for me and us? You didn't you place in the last Minion Masters tournament?
I did. I placed 3/4 because technically it's like the same slot, but so yeah, top 4. It was pretty good. It's the highest I've ever placed in a King Puff Cup.
Did you prep much?
Oh no, I was actually surprised. I was like, all right, I didn't troll myself this time. I submitted the decks that I usually play, like that I've been playing. So I had practice, but I didn't really put in like the hours or like really be like, all right, today I'm just gonna practice for a few hours, just play the game. It was just like, I'm gonna play for an hour or two, and then whatever happens tomorrow happens. And then I placed pretty well, top 4.
So was that high enough? Oh, I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna ask, is if that was high enough to win.
Oh yeah, top 8 is top 8 is when you can earn. The lowest is $20, and then top 4. So the 3rd and 4th position is like the final like cash prize before it gets into the other stuff, because the upcoming one, I think it's this weekend, the top prize is a AMD Radeon graphics card, like the newest one, like the 560 something.
Oh, wow, that's decent.
Second place is like $100 on SteelSeries.com, so you can buy some nice headphones or something.
Yeah, they have some significant sponsorship stuff going on now. Good for them. I hope it continues to grow. As far as the winter break, you're gonna be in California again?
I will, yeah. For about 3.5 weeks, I think, is the longest I can stay.
So we gonna meet up and do an in-person podcast?
We can certainly try. We just gotta figure out the logistics of that.
The logistics are you drive your ass up here. No, I'm just come hang out in my apartment for a couple days, and I'll feed you well. I'll pay you in food.
All right, sounds good.
We should, though. That'd be cool. I've never done, like, most people do podcasts in person. It's kind of different to do it over the internet. At least like traditional podcasts. I know there's a few, like there's other Twitch podcasts that are done through what we're doing, but all the ones I listen to, their guests actually come and participate in person and stuff. I've always wanted to do that.
One day we'll have a studio. Yes. Oh, you're at the right place. The chauffeur will park your car. You can just let yourself in. The doorman will show you on your way.
Yeah. One day, and then when I mentioned it at first, Meshyf thought I was talking about doing a live podcast, like with an audience. That would be cool too. But you can't do that until you actually have an audience. So we gotta get our
doors. Just some randos just walk in. You're like, oh, what's going on in here, huh?
Yeah, gotta get our numbers up.
2 guys
a little bit
talking about things,
sexy internet things. I think that was it as far as like personal news and shit. Unless you have any questions for me.
I don't know. It seems like all you did these past couple of weeks was go glamping and being sick all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
That delayed TwitchCon sickness.
No, it's my damn coworkers, dude. Like, you get sick time for a reason. Please, you don't have to come to work, man. Like, plus I work at a software company. You can work remotely. They're totally okay with you staying home, whipping out your laptop and working. And then people still insist on coming to work. You hear them coughing and fucking, they're touching door handles and shit. So it's like, just don't. Why are you here? That's.
I feel guilty when I'm sick and I don't go. Like, especially when I'm paying for classes, it's like, I don't know if I can miss this day. Although it is funny, like I harbor I harbor missing days, because you're allowed to miss 4 classes per class, but anything after that will start affecting your financial aid. And it's like, well, I have these 4 classes. If I don't use them, it's a waste. So I'll just like wake up and be like, nah, I'm not feeling class today. But had to use a couple of those on TwitchCon.
Yeah, TwitchCon took priority over your physical and mental health.
For that whole weekend it did.
Yeah, dude, that was. I'm glad you did. Got to finally meet you, cuddle. So you bring up a good point, though. There is a difference between being employed, because you're like, when you're employed, you're given sick time. When you're a student, that's a little trickier, I guess. Like you said, you are paying to be there. And if you miss a day, it can set you back quite a bit, especially if it's like an intense class. Like, you miss a programming class or like Calc 3 or something, like that can be rough unless you have like a good friend to take notes for you or something. But you, like you said, you're paying to be there, so fuck the other kids. Who cares if they get sick?
It's like my education is just as important as yours. I'm not gonna miss out just because I have a little cough, and then you're like in class dying the entire time, not even paying attention.
That's different than a coworker situation, though. There are laws and policies in place specifically for you to not come to work when you're sick. I mean, I know there's companies out there who, especially, unfortunately, a lot of lower paying, like, how do I say this? Working class jobs where their bosses, like, they give them the time off, but they like don't really, because it's like there's the whole guilt trip that comes with it. And yeah, especially like in food service and stuff like that, which is terrible, because that's like the one job where you really should not come to work. If you're ever dealing with anything food or service related, not only are you getting your fellow employees sick, but you also risk getting like the patrons of whatever establishment you work at sick as well. Like, so it's insane to me when, like, the kitchen staff gets guilt tripped out of taking a sick day or like that drives me insane.
I read those horror stories all the time where it's like, oh, I was really sick, but then my boss was like, oh, if you're not here by like 10 a.m. the next day, like, you're out of a job. He's like, so I had to go to work sick, and it's just I'm handling food while like blowing chunks every other order. And it's like knowing that the possibility exists that like when you go to a restaurant or just a diner or fast food, that like the guy handling your food can be like super ill. It's really gross.
I actually have a funny story about that. I don't know if I've told this on the podcast. I've definitely mentioned it on my stream, but there was a restaurant when I was growing up in my hometown. It was themed as like a mobster speakeasy type restaurant. It was called Papa Rico's. And it was one of those theme restaurants where like all of the waiters dress like gangsters and like they're rude to you and shit. Yeah, what do you want? That type of thing. Yeah. And it was a really cool restaurant. I remember going there as a kid, and we went there fairly regularly, off and on, just because the food was good, and they had like murder mystery nights and stuff. It was a cool place. And then it got shut down because there was a period of time where a dude was working in the kitchen and didn't disclose that he had like hepatitis.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that's on a whole like other level.
Well, I mean, but that's the type of stuff that happens when you have shitty management that forces people to work when they're sick, right? And then, if he can't just not come, he risks losing his job, so he feels pressured into going. And as a result, the whole place got shut down. And a bunch of people that went there, I remember, they're like, if you went to Papa Rico's between this date and this date, go get your hepatitis shots because you were exposed. Like, it was terrible. I forget, I don't remember all the details. I was a young teenager at the time, but I remember I met a cute girl in class as a result of it, because one time it came up and she was like, oh yeah, you went during that time? This girl named Blair, and like we ended up like I got
bonded over the fear of hepatitis.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was kind of ridiculous. But yeah, don't go to work sick, guys. It's not worth it. On that note, we have a Sheefs Beef.
We do.
Yeah. I think we'll just get straight into it. We don't have a guest this week, so why waste time? Let's just get into this beef and see where it takes us. And we do have some fun topics after that. It's probably going to be a short episode tonight. We just wanted to get one out. Like I said, didn't want to go 3 weeks without one. That beef dough. It's coming at you right now. Let me pull it up here. I
gets right into it too.
You see here. Pause the music and let's switch over to my media view for 2. Come over here. All right. You ready?
Yes. The water.
I love the pause to build anticipation as you sip the water. I am ready. All right, let's do it. On go. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, go.
You need the beefiest of beefs, the sheefiest of sheefs. Then get yourself ready. Open up them buckles and eat some beef. It's Sheefs Beef.
Welcome, everyone, to The Ring. I'm your host, Meshyf, bringing you this week's hot and spicy beefs. What we're going to do is put two beefs head-to-head and figure out which of the two is the beefiest beef of the week. Let's get to the first beef.
He came in.
Litterbugs.
No.
I recently went camping over the weekend. It was amazing. It was great. We were at a state beach. It was beautiful. But here's the thing about camping and just being out in nature or in a fucking parking lot. You fucking people that throw trash on the ground deserve to be shot, drawn, and quartered. Like, I'm done with you. How dare you, in a country where if you're in America, you're within 100 feet of a trash can. Do not throw your fucking trash on the ground. And you know what? If there isn't one, if you're in some godforsaken remote location that doesn't have a trash can, guess what? You got there with your shit, you can leave with your shit. Do not throw trash on the ground. We were at the beach, and this guy had this bitchin' squid kite, and I'm thinking, that's a cool squid kite. That would be awesome. And he's flying it, and he's got it up like all day. And you can clearly see that there's a kink in the string, and he might have some trouble getting it back. Here's what this asshole did. He let it go all night. He just tied it off and then went to bed. What the fuck? So this thing falls, lands all across the campsite. So there's this long string that goes all the way across the campsite. It's on top of a building. The squid's stuck in a tree. But there's this string everywhere. Does he clean it up? No. He just lets someone else deal with it.
He left
Of course,
it?
I'm out there at 6 in the morning and freezing butt-ass cold, trying to get this kite out and all the string off the ground so no one, A, hits it, or B, an animal gets tangled up in it or something. People that litter are the worst fucking narcissists in this country. Do not fucking litter. I can understand if you're not down with recycling. I can understand if you take a bite of an apple and throw it away. Fine, you weren't hungry. Fine, you just don't care about recycling. I get it. But you could at least be neat and organized about it. If you're outside of your home and you decide that it's time to throw something away, if you don't hit that fucking garbage can with your trash, I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. And you know what? Everyone listening to this podcast, everyone watching live on Twitch, we need to start calling people out for this shit. Call them out. Throw the trash back in their car. I swear to God, if it's next to a trash can, just go crazy on them. Just go crazy on them. Just kick their ass. Okay? Litterbugs, you're the first beef of the week.
All right. Keep advocating.
Second beef is credit
beating up
balances. Now, this is kind of a tough one,
of
I'll be honest,
Litterbugs.
because what a credit balance
Right, I'm
is
kinda
when a
confused about
company
this.
owes you money, right? So you've paid your dues or whatever, and there's a little credit on your account, a credit that wasn't supposed to be there, right? And you're thinking, oh, but Meshyf, that's my money. I get extra money I didn't know I had coming to me. No. All it means is that the company you're dealing with is so inept, so unprepared to do business. They have extra money that they charged you that they can't balance out on their account because they took it and they didn't fucking need it. Our first son was born about a year and a half ago. Before we could actually, do the delivery and everything like that, you have to see doctors. There's lots of appointments and stuff like that. Well, my insurance sucks because I'm in America. And that's a whole nother story that we can get into on another beef because it's coming. But we had to prepay for the doctor. So it's 400 clams every month like clockwork. Boom, 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 $400. They won't even talk to you, let you come back to see the doctor until you've swiped your card to give them the money. Right? So it all squares away. My son's born. He's wonderful. My wife's okay. She's also wonderful. And everything's set and we're good. Well, about 6-7 months goes by, and we finally get the bill from the hospital, and all looks fine. I'm making payments on my son still. It's okay. It's whatever. It's just the way that it is. Well, now we're on baby number 2. So we're getting ready to do the same thing because we like the hospital. We like the doctors. It was a pretty good experience.
The reveal.
And my son came out alive, and, that's a plus. So what do we start doing? We have the appointment to go and talk to the guy and figure out
what's
how
the
much are we
neutral
going to have to
ending
pay
here?
each month. So they'll see us. Well, they look at it and they go, that's weird, Miss Meshyf. You have a $1,100 credit on your account. So actually, your payment's going to be a little bit lower. Isn't that awesome news? No. I have not been so mad in my life than getting that phone call.
You didn't find out.
Such a long time. So you mean to tell me, Mr. Doctor's office, that you overcharged me, not $50, $100, $1,100 fucking dollars, failed to notify me in a year and a half that you had $1,100 of my money? We got a fucking problem. Credit balances mean that you're dealing with someone that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, or they're unethical and they're just going to sit on that money. I guarantee, if we didn't have another kid or we moved out of the state or whatever, and that was just on my account with them, because people go and have babies all the time, if that was just sitting on my account 2, 3, 4 years from now, I would never fucking know. There's no way for me to know because everything's so obfuscated when it comes to medical billing. You're not allowed to know how much stuff costs until, here's the bill. They wouldn't have told me unless we were in there asking questions about how much it was going to cost. That's fucked up and damn near criminal. You're keeping people's money. You're not letting them spend it on stuff they want to spend it on. And by the way, let's say I didn't have another kid. I found out 2, 3 years from now that they owed me $1,100. How fucking long is it going to take for them to get me my fucking money?
That's
crazy. Forever. I work at a place where if you want the product, you got to pay right now. You don't pay, you don't get shit. And you know what? That's okay, because that is the relationship that a consumer has with a business. We pay for stuff, we get stuff, right? But when we're owed money as a consumer and you try and get it back from the company, good fucking luck. It's going to take time, receipts. The burden of proof is on the consumer, not on the company. It's such a pain in the ass. It takes 10 weeks for us to process a gap cancellation. 10 weeks for a measly couple $100. Why does this shit have to take so long? Credit balances, all they're doing is holding on to your money for as long as possible so they don't have to give it back just because, hey, fuck it. It's money and they want it and they got it. So those are our 2 beefs of the week, credit balances and litter asshole bugs. Which of the 2 do you think is the beefiest? Jimmy, James, chat, I want to find out your answers. And when we get back, I'll tell you the right answer. And we'll see if you get it right.
All right, I'm at 727.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know how I should feel about this. It's like the only time I've ever had a credit balance was with my financial aid. And they were like, oh, we owe you a little bit of money. And I was like, oh, thank you. Enough to buy a single book with. That's definitely going to help.
Yeah, I don't know. The litter one, definitely resonates with me, especially with where I live. I don't live in the nicest part of town, and there's a big fucking one of those big metal trash cans, and then one of the big recycling ones, like right on the other side here, like right behind my apartment. Mm-hmm. And there's always trash on the ground. Always. It's right there by the trash can. And I think part of the reason where I live, some of it's litterbugs and some of it's I hate to say it, but some of it's homeless people. Some of it's not, which I guess is a form of littering, but what they do is they just dig through the trash and they just throw the shit all over the place because they're just rifling through it and they don't care, right? And that's another thing is like I've been woken up by a dude digging through the trash can behind my apartment. So that's a whole nother issue, I guess.
Survive, Jimmy, come on.
But yeah, so that's definitely an issue for me is they don't give a shit. And yeah, it's 5 times more frustrating when it's right by the trash can. Right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like you were already at the trash can. What's stopping you from putting it in the trash can? Why is it on the floor?
Yeah. When it's literally on the floor next, like all those pictures he was showing were triggering the shit out of me because it's like the recycle bin with just bottles all over the ground around it. Same with like the office, the rental office by my apartment. There's like a kid's playground right there, and there's trash cans on both sides of the kid's playground, and there'll just be trash all over the ground. and it's like it's 10 steps. And I think that's why it's so frustrating, is because it's so easy. I think that's why it's such an infuriating thing to talk about, is because it's such a simple thing to do that makes such a huge difference. Which goes, I mean, that same rule applies to other parts of your life, right? Like, if you just rinse off the dish and stick it on a dry rack rather than just putting it in the sink so there's a mountain of dishes, it's the same thing. Like, if everyone would just walk to the trash can and throw the shit away, we wouldn't have any problem with it. It's such a simple thing to do, and that's why it's so frustrating. And I think Meshyf, it's funny because when he started talking about it, it immediately reminded, I think Meshyf just has a problem with trash in general, because it reminded me to when he talked about diapers.
Oh,
When he,
that's a horrifying memory.
when we had that whole Sheefs Beef about diapers, just like on the ground, like full of shit. Just people just like, oh, I'm gonna leave it right here. This is good. But on the flip side of that, I will say that there are lots of places and establishments who do a really, really, really shitty job of not providing trash cans. Like, there's been many occasions where you're somewhere where there definitely should be plenty of trash cans to throw stuff away, and there's none. Like, I at that point, it's like they're almost asking you to throw shit on the ground. Not that I do, but I'm just saying it's frustrating when you go somewhere to like a shopping center. There should be trash cans like every 20 yards or so. Like, you have to make it easy for people, because we know people are lazy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to provide trash cans and recycle bins. So
like Disneyland, it's like they had that down to a science. They're like, we have trash cans every X amount of feet, because we know that if people walk this length with trash, they're going to put it on the ground.
Yep.
But if the trash can is this distance from every other trash can, they're more likely to put it in the trash. And even then, people still toss it on the ground.
People are dumb. As far as the credit balance one, I have a feeling he went really long on that.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling he's really upset.
He was sitting on that like, whew, do you know? That's like, he's like, that's half of my rent payment right there that you were just holding on to me, to the company. Because that's a pretty big credit balance to just like not know about. And the company's just like, oh, we just, stumbled upon this balance that you got.
The biggest part of that one, I think that he makes a very valid point, is that when you owe a company money, they'll know, like, there's no limit to how much time and energy they'll put into getting that money from you, right? They're on your ass like grass. Whereas when they owe you money, right, it's like, well, whatever.
Put it like, well, it's our money right now, but if you find out about it, yeah, we'll give it back.
Right. That's very apparent and obvious. So across the board, when a company owes you anything, not just money, you're not getting it unless you call them.
Mm-hmm.
They knew he would be back. They're like, well, he has an $1,100 balance, but yeah, he's going to squirt out another one at some point in the future. So, it'll be good. It'll be a nice little surprise for him. And if you think of it from growing money, right? Like $1,100 is enough money to invest, or, that's a significant.
Yes, not a small chunk of change.
Yeah, for that year and a half, it could have been growing in a mutual fund, or who knows what. Like,
could have bought some Bitcoin. Would have been worth $500.
Yeah, timing wise, you might be right. A couple years ago, yeah, if you would have taken that 1,100 Meshyf and just dumped it all into Bitcoin, you'd have a fucking you'd have a little stack right now. Yeah, so that one's frustrating. Again, I tend to gauge these on how much they affect me personally. And I can't say that I've ever personally had any major experiences. I think at one point I overpaid my credit card, so I had a balance on there, and I just let it roll over to the next statement. So I can't say that I've had any really major negative experiences with balances, but his story was infuriating.
Definitely.
That shouldn't happen. That, especially when they know that you're a new, like, it was your newborn kid, your new parents. You probably could have used every penny of that $1,100, and they just sat on it, and they didn't contact you. And then all of a sudden, how long would it have been if you didn't have another kid? Would you have ever found out? Like, what if you moved and you never went to that hospital again? They're just, you got to balance if you ever come back. So yeah, that I can see why that would be infuriating from your point of view. But if I'm going to vote based on which one is my bigger beef, I'd have to go with the littering, only because it's so prominent, and I feel like it's gotten worse in the last 5 or 10 years. I remember when I was a kid, you were shamed. Growing up, like, if in my neighborhood, I grew up, the earliest memories I have of this is when I lived in Valencia, California. And if you ever threw trash on the ground around any of my friends, they're litterbug, like, it was like legitimately shamed by my friends if I ever did any. Like, you just didn't do it. Like, it was socially unacceptable. And now, in fact, recently, that reminds me, last thing I'll say about it. I was coming home one day. I parked my car and I came around the corner from the parking lot to where my apartment is, and there was like 3 little kids. And one of them, they were eating popsicles or something, I think. I forget what it was. And one of them took the popsicle out of the wrapper and literally just threw the wrapper on the ground, like right in front of me. And then he went to like run off and play with his friends or whatever. And like Meshyf said, we got to call him out. So I was like, hey, and I yelled at the kid, and I kind of scared him. I don't think he was expecting it. And I said,
white man yelling at me.
And I said, there's a trash can around the corner, the same ones that I was talking about where the hobos dig in. I was like, there's a trash can right there. And he like didn't really say anything. He was like, oh, and he like picked it up, and like I hope he actually walked around the corner and threw it away. He probably waited till I was out of sight and threw it back on the ground, little asshole. But yeah, I called him out because I was like, dude, this kid just like right in front of me, blatantly, without even no shame whatsoever, just threw his wrapper on the ground. Like, yeah. Raise your kids right, people.
Learn them to pick up some trash.
Which one are you gonna go with, James? Do you have any experience with credit balances other than your
my tuition
thing?
Because I'm pretty good about how much I spend on stuff because I have a very limited income. I didn't work this semester, so it's like I've been budgeting everything. I'm like, all right, how much money can I spend right now on food? The Totino's pizza rolls are $1.10. They're on sale. I have to stock up on those right now. So it's like whenever money leaves my account, I know exactly where it's going. So it's like generally I don't have an issue with that. But littering, I'm one of 6 kids. I have a niece and a nephew. I know all about littering. And it's awful. Every time my room back in California, to the left of me there'd be my brother's bed. It's a double. It's a stack because it's for 2 people. And there's a little alcove where there's a little desk. And what they'll do is they'll sit at the desk facing the TV and they'll just eat stuff. And then instead of taking the trash and throwing it away, they'll just move it into the little alcove over here and then leave it there. So I'll come back after a semester and I'm like, why is this full of trash?
Littering inside their own home.
We don't know. It just came there. And so I'm like, all right, it doesn't matter. I'll pick it up, I'll throw it away, and I'll just be chilling on my bed, on my phone, reading a book or something. And I'll look over and just watch them just like take something, just like put it down there. And I'll be like, and you guys don't know where it's coming from? And then day after day, just more stuff starts piling, and I'll call them out for it. I'm like, why did you leave all the trash? And I was like, that wasn't me. And I'm like, I was watching you just put trash there like an hour ago. And yeah, that really grinds my gears. So I'm definitely going to have to go with the littering this week.
Yeah. Don't litter, assholes. Let's keep this beautiful country clean. So I think we're both going to go with littering, but I don't know. I
feel like Meshyf
was pretty worked up about credit balances. But I think on a global scale, littering, I have to say, is probably the bigger beef. I don't know. Let's see Let's pull it up here. All right, so I'm at 727.
Yeah, same here.
All right, on go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Well, now's the moment of truth. Jimmy, James, chat. Do you think you got it right? Let's find out. This week's Beef of the Week is Litterbugs.
Yeah.
These psychopath, narcissist pieces of shit that are willing to put their hand out the window and drop their food on the ground, or drop their wrapper, or go to Target and throw stuff on the ground, or leave your fucking Starbucks cup in the middle of an aisle. Fuck you people. You're terrible. You're setting a terrible example for the rest of the country and your kids and everyone else involved, and you're inconveniencing everyone because you're so special and this world revolves around you. Litterbugs, you are the biggest beef of the week.
I am pleasantly surprised.
We did it. We did it, fam.
Fellow kids.
We definitely need to bring back shaming in many aspects of our society. I think people just need to be shamed in general for their shitty behavior, for being terrible human beings. Need to do some Scarlet Letter shit. No, just kidding, not that bad, but just make them wear
staple the trash to their clothes.
Make them wear their trash for like a month. Track these bitches down. A big orange shirt with their with all of their trash stapled to their shirt. That'd be fantastic. Caning, that would change things. Yeah, maybe we should bring like just mild
capital punishment,
mild beatings. Maybe bring them back to school. Just every once in a while, kids need a good swat, right? No, I'm just kidding. I don't approve. But psychological trauma can be effective too. You don't have to physically harm them. There was one time, I'll give you an example. My parents were not. I think I was spanked by my mother like once in my life, but my parents were really good, especially my dad. There was one time in particular where I remember coming home with a report card. And it was not impressive. It was a lot of like C's, I think. Like it was, as far as it wasn't
the average.
It wasn't terrible, but there's always that argument that C's are average or whatever, like, and so that's what I told my dad. He looked at the report card and he's like, "So what do you think about this?" I said, "Well, C's are average." And he looked me in the eyes without flinching, without joking, just with a serious look on his face. And he said, "Well, then I'm just going to have to accept the fact that my son is average."
And that
was it, dude. I was like, fuck. Like that just like went like boom, like pierced straight through everything. And I was like, okay.
That just went right through your heart, didn't it?
Oh, it was rough. That was worse than any
I'm not average. No, Dad, no, where are you going?
It was, yeah, that was worse than any grounding or beating he could have given me. I think that was the lowest report card I ever got in high school.
Yeah, it's like that TV trope where the dad is like, "Son, I'm not mad.
I'm just disappointed."
And then that like hurts the guy, that hurts the kid like so much more than any physical punishment could have ever done, because he's just like, "What? No." Like it gets you at the core of your being. Like, did I become this?
Yeah.
This person my dad is disappointed in?
Like, oh, my dad thinks I'm average. Like, I don't know. It just, the way the delivery was perfect, and it was just like, oh my God, that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
He knew too, like, whether I want to believe it or not, at that time in my life, I very much cared about what other people thought. Like I could have, if I
your own family.
Yeah, I mean, I could. There were definitely assholes I knew that didn't give a shit when gave zero fucks. But I respected my parents, and I respected my family and friends, and I was concerned with what other people thought. I was a teenager. So when my dad told me I was average, it sucked, man. Did not feel good. But anyway, I think if you guys don't mind, I think we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we have lined up a few really exciting. It's been a couple weeks, so we've built up some topics that we want to discuss. I got to hit the bucket real quick. So we'll take a little 3 to 5 minutes, and we will be back shortly to dive into some fun stuff. So please stick around. All right, we are back, and I have a friend with me. You guys saw in the Discord. Look, what? It's Cora. I got a new cat. Hi.
And she makes cat noises.
We got her from the SPCA, and she's, I think, just under 1 year old. She's kind of cute. We decided Sam needed a friend because we both work all day. So, this is our little Cora Cat. And we're excited to have her in the apartment. Bye. Sam still hasn't gotten used to her. She's still finding her place. We had to keep her in the bedroom for a week before they could meet each other. I guess they recommend not like letting them interact right away. I guess when a cat's from the kennel, like the SPCA or whatever, they can carry a lot of diseases and germs and stuff. So they said to keep them apart for at least a week or two. We did a week, and we're like, no, we can't wait anymore. So,
like, it's too much.
Yeah.
It smells like cat in here.
Yeah. She was in our bedroom. Yeah, it was the only place where we could really keep them separate. So they're together now, and Cora's pretty awesome. And
did you name her?
No, that was her name when we got her. We thought about changing it, but then, you
can't change your birth name.
Yeah, they said you can change it if you want, but they wanted us to like put a name on the line. They're like, you can keep it the same or you can change it. So we ended up keeping the name. We thought it was a cool name. I'm a fan of the Avatar series, The Last Airbender, and the second series was called Legend of Korra. So I thought it was a cool name. It's spelled with a C though. I think the Korra from the Avatar is with a K.
Yep.
Kora.
Pretty good show.
Also, Coraline. Oh yeah, there you go. It can be short for
true.
Coraline. Coraline was a creepy ass movie. Just buttons for eyes.
That's like, I remember being young and watching it. I was like, oh, this is creepy. But then it's grown on me. I enjoy that movie a lot. I still watch it from time to time because it's on Netflix. But ooh.
Yeah, creepy ass
still
show.
Sends chills.
I should watch it again. I think it's been a while. But yeah,
It's a good film. I always recommend it to people that haven't seen it. Because I'm like, yep, just give it a watch. You'll like it.
Yeah, I've actually seen more movies than usual lately. Being sick and like on vacation and all that stuff, I've been able to catch some movies. So recently I saw, I don't know if you've seen it on Netflix or not, but there's a movie that came out. It's a Coen Brothers movie. It went straight to Netflix. It's called The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's really cool. I don't know. Do you know who the Coen Brothers are? They made
I know the name. I've probably seen a couple of their films, but I can't like name them.
So they made like Big Lebowski. They made Fargo, Hail Caesar, Burn After Reading, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Like they have a very specific style, right? And I'm a huge fan of theirs. And so when I heard that they were coming out with a movie straight to Netflix, I was surprised that it wasn't going to be in theaters. And I understand why it didn't come out in theaters. It probably wouldn't have done very well. No Country for Old Men, that's another one. Ballad of Buster Scruggs is like, it's a movie, but it's like 5 or 6 short stories. It's not one continuous plot. It's a bunch of these really really interesting, existential, thought-provoking like short stories. And
see, thought-provoking existentiality. See, that doesn't sit well with the masses. Jimmy.
yeah,
you gotta like spoon feed them some action here and there.
And some of them are like some of them are more action packed and like whatnot, but some of them are very slow and deliberate, and like most of them don't really have happy endings. Some of them just end and you're like, what?
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like their style, right? Like, if you've ever seen Burn After Reading, like some of their movies, like the journey is the destination. Like the whole experience of the characters and everything they don't resolve the way you expect most like big box office movies like to have a typical like climax and resolution. Like their movies do not follow that arc at all. So like
like there's some goal you're trying to reach and then they finally reach it at the end. It's like, nah, that's just sometimes you don't make your dreams come true, and that's just life.
Hudsucker Proxy, I love that movie. I always tell people to watch Hudsucker Proxy. Yeah, she's listing off that Bishop girl in Twitch chat is listing off some of their other movies. Raising Arizona is another good one too. But anyway, yeah, so like a lot of their stuff is just like depicting the brutal reality of life. Like there's not always life is chaotic. There's not always a happy ending. Like I love their style. And so if you're into that type of stuff, I would highly recommend the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. And recently the actor who played Buster Scruggs, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He was on the Mark Maron's What the Fuck podcast, and it was really really interesting. I had no idea. I didn't know much about him. I know he's been in a few Coen Brother movies, but you're a big fan of Tim Robbins' work. Yeah, Tim Robbins was the main character in Hudsucker Proxy, right?
This is where the memes I keep seeing pop up.
Oh, are there memes from Buster Scruggs?
Yeah, it's first time. That one's been popping up everywhere. Where it's like, the foreign exchange student starts crying when the school gets shot up, and it's like you turn to him and say, "Oh, it's your first time, huh?" Oh
yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I highly recommend it. If you got Netflix, you should check it out. It's really fun. And then recently I also went to the theater and saw the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Did you?
The story of Queen. Yeah, I'm a huge Queen fan. I'm a huge fan of rock and roll in general. Oh yeah, and I saw Wreck-It Ralph, or Ralph Breaks the Internet. I got to see a screener of that, and that one was awesome as well.
I've heard kind of mixed things. Trending positive, but I don't think I'll see it in theaters, so I'll just have to wait.
I thought it was worth seeing in theaters, but I got to see it for free, so it's hard for me. It's probably not a fair of me to say that.
Review, Jimmy received copy for free.
Yeah, I gotta put a disclaimer on that I did get to see it for free. And we got to see it at the Disney lot, so the sound and like video quality was like perfect because Disney doesn't fuck around. So I'm probably a little biased when it comes to Ralph Breaks the Internet. But
did he like the movie or was it the experience?
It's probably a little of both, if I'm being completely honest. But I thought the movie was pretty solid. I thought it was really fun. I hadn't watched any trailers at all, and I think that helps a lot. Like I didn't know anything about it other than it was a sequel to, Wreck-It Ralph. I feel like the less I research something and the less I like watch trailers and whatnot, the more I end up enjoying the movie. Trailers are terrible these days. I feel like they completely ruin. The trailers are way too. I've seen trailers where I'm like, I don't have to see this movie now. Like you basically showed me the entire plot arc of the movie. Like why would I? What's the point?
Sometimes they do a good job. Like I remember, what was it? Infinity War, that one, the trailer, they were like, it was super flashy, and then some scenes just weren't in the movie, so it was like it misled you into thinking like, is that gonna happen? But then they definitely flipped that expectation. But then most movies just like, they explain like the entire plot just like in 30 seconds of action, and you're like, well, what's the point of sitting through it for an hour and a half?
Yeah. So I've actually like tried to make a point of not watching as many movie trailers, even though I enjoy them and I get hyped about them. I'll watch teasers. I feel like there should be more teasers and less trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on what your motivation is, but like I want to go there and just enjoy it and be surprised and everything. A lot of the times I feel like trailers are stupid, misleading. Well, I guess that's okay, right? Because you want to be surprised. But like, for example, another one that I saw, Mother, that movie Mother by
some director,
Darren Aronofsky, the same guy who did Requiem for a Dream and Pi and all those crazy ass movies.
Oh, that movie.
He made the movie Mother, and I knew nothing about that movie going into it. I had not seen any trailers. I had not heard anything about it. And so that movie was a complete mind fuck when I watched it, because I went in completely blind, and I loved it because I had no expectations whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think if someone was like, hey, you want to watch Mother with me? And I didn't know what it was, I probably would have been like scarred after watching it. Because when you said it the first time, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. But I know I wouldn't like have the time to watch it or see it. So I just looked at the synopsis and I was like, what? It's like when you brought up Get Out. So I'm like, oh, well, I probably won't have the time to see it. So I look at the synopsis and I'm like, what?
Yeah. You got to watch them, dude. Don't just read synopsis. You got to watch them.
I need to watch it because it's like reading it. I'm like, this doesn't tell the whole story because it doesn't show like the cinematography and the lighting and the mood and the voices of the characters. So it's like just reading it. I'm like, this might break me. I don't think I can handle this, but I'd probably watch it anyway because they both sound really good. They're really interesting. But ooh,
Meshyf said, I hate movies because most of them are boring as fuck, and there's only so many typical movie archetypes. I agree, but I also disagree. Like some of the movies I just named, like Buster Scruggs and Mother and Get Out, like for me personally, they didn't follow a lot of those archetypes. I love them, but I also like movies that follow typical archetypes. I can just watch a movie and enjoy it. Like, I don't really care if I enjoy being surprised and plot twists, and I enjoy movies that make me think, but sometimes I also just I love the movie Crank. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Crank, but it's literally just about a dude who, if he stops, if his adrenaline slows down, he dies. So the whole movie is just him kicking ass from beginning to end. And the plot is pretty transparent. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just mindless action. Like I'll enjoy a Transformers movie. I'll enjoy a Star Wars movie or Crank or whatever. But I feel like trailers take away from that a little bit. I'd rather just go in and just have fun with it and be surprised.
Mm-hmm. And at least when it comes to a movie, they have the advantage of you can enjoy a bad movie because all you have to do is experience it.
Right.
There's no effort on your part.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you feel like you have to like work hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I
like a movie that makes you think, but it's really bad at it.
Right.
You're like, oh, this is really shitty because I'm like trying to think about this and it doesn't make sense.
Right.
And not in the good way.
Right. Mindless action. Have you seen Hardcore Henry yet? I don't think so. I'll definitely put that on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, moving from movies to TV shows, I'm like 2 or 3 seasons into BoJack Horseman now.
Ooh, how are you liking it?
I'm enjoying it. Like you said, I think we talked about how a lot of shows, sometimes you have to endure the first like season to get to the meat and potatoes. Like you kind of, a lot of times it doesn't find its voice until you get a little further into it. And I feel that way about BoJack Horseman. I felt like at first I was like, okay, I get it. But like, it's really like developed into a pretty, they touch on, like you said, like the whole like depression and like, it's mostly there's all the funny moments and stuff, but every once in a while it just gets like really real and you're like, oh shit. Like,
oh yeah. it's this type of show, and it contrasts really well because it's like I'm watching a horse person talk about depression. Like, it doesn't feel right. So when those real moments come, you're just like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
Because they're animals.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it because the episodes are like, they're consumable, and there's plenty of seasons to watch. Like, I don't feel like it's too much of a commitment to just like sit down and watch an episode. Whereas like if I sit down and watch Maniac, like I'm watching that right now as well. And I have to sit down and like legit pay attention to everything that's going on. Whereas like BoJack, I can kind of just put on while I'm folding laundry or whatever, and it's mostly dialogue. So it's one of those shows you can just have on.
And just listen to it.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it. BoJack Horseman. Yes, that's what we're talking about. I think TV is in a much better place right now than movies. I agree. I think Netflix specifically has just like opened the floodgates, and now like you're seeing a lot of crossover too. You're seeing a lot of like mini series or like movies going straight to Netflix, or shows. Like the lines are completely blurred now, and I love it.
Movies are just getting too expensive. It's like they gotta do so much of this and that, and like you can't even get funding unless it's like an older IP that already has like a backstory and already a fan base. So that's why we're probably getting a lot of the reruns and stuff, because they're redoing The Lion King in, what do they call it?
Hyper realistic.
Yeah, hyper realistic.
Yeah,
it's not CGI, guys.
Well, they're using the same technology for Lion King that they used for the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
The difference being in The Lion King, there's no humans, but it's essentially like the same kind of approach. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. I could do without so many remakes. I thought the first Lion King was pretty good, but what do I know? I don't know. They've been remaking movies for years.
I like seeing new IP. Like, it's nice to get the remakes, but it's like, just new ideas, please.
Yeah. We shall see. I don't know. I'll probably... That's one... It's rare that I go to the theater anymore. It's got to be something like... I really wanted to see Bohemian Rhapsody in the theater, mostly because of just like... The theater that I go to always turns the sound up a little too much, and that's exactly what I wanted. Like, I just wanted to go have my face melted by Queen music for an hour and a half, So I'm glad we had a gift card anyway, so like that's part of the reason we went. And I love movie theater popcorn, so there's that part of it. But in general, like most people, like large screen televisions and surround sound systems and shit like that aren't that expensive anymore. I'm sure a lot of people picked up a pretty nice big ass TV on Black Friday, right? Like you can get a 55-inch for next to nothing now compared to what it was like 5 years ago. So it's hard to justify going to the theater now. I don't know.
I enjoy going to movie theaters. It's just sometimes you get a really shitty audience. Like you're trying to enjoy the movie and you're just hearing like from behind you, like they're like fucking
opening wrappers and pulling out their phones and all kinds of shit.
And then it takes you out of it. You're trying to get immersed. You're trying to enjoy the film, and then all you can focus on is like the crinkling of a wrapper.
Right. Yeah, it definitely you pay money to sit in a room full of other people and deal with whatever comes your way. It's an unpredictable environment. There's a lot of variables, and I think a lot of people just would rather not gamble.
Yeah.
So I don't know. One thing I did appreciate though is that when we went to when we went to see that movie, they asked us, they pulled up a screen and they said, choose your seats. I guess I didn't know that assigned it's the first time that I've gone to the theater and it was assigned seating. I think they did that when I went to an IMAX once where you picked your seats, but it was just a normal, it was like a Edwards Cinema, and they asked us to pick our seats when we bought our tickets, which I appreciated. I thought that was cool. I hope that becomes a standard thing, because that's always like, you buy your tickets nice and early, and then oops, you showed up late, and like you got 2 seats up in the top corner. So it's kind of nice.
It's in the really awkward spot
to be able to pick your seats. I hope that trend becomes a thing at all theaters. I don't know.
Especially, usually I go with some friends and they get motion sickness, so they can't sit too close to the screen.
Yeah.
So we either get, a nice seat somewhere in the middle at a nice distance, or packed up in the corner.
Yeah.
And I did sitting close to the front, never again. You're just
like
the entire time just looking up.
Yeah.
Like by the time you're done, you forget you've been holding your neck up. It's just like, this is the default position now.
They should just remove those 2 rows of seats in the front. It doesn't make any sense. They're like, we could sell more tickets. You just walk out of there with a crick in your neck.
There. And it just looks bad too, because the angle's awful. Like, you can see it, but you're not seeing much.
Yeah, no, I prefer to sit further back than Ninja Breadmon said sitting in the front is like playing the demo games at Walmart. That's fantastic. Anyway, I did want to touch on a few topics real quick before we call it a night. I'm glad we had a chat about movies, though. I feel like it's been a while since we just talked about some movie shit. If you guys didn't hear, this is some super nerd stuff, but Nvidia has open sourced their physics engine, SDK 4.0. PhysX, which is pretty exciting. I won't go into too much detail, but the more stuff that becomes open source, the more people get to use it and benefit from it. So hopefully this means, some more platforms will have an opportunity. So right here it says BSD3 licensed platforms: Apple iOS, Apple Mac OS X, Google Android, Linux, Microsoft Windows XP. They're adding a bunch of features, so hopefully we'll see some wider use of the physics engine. It's a really powerful tool. The software development kit has much to offer for game makers who don't want to have to write a physics engine themselves and want to be able to utilize the power of a 3D processor to do some cool physics shit. So it's exciting. You can read about it yourself, but here's the information about it. You can look it up. Open source is good. The more of it we can get in the world, the more people share their innovations and tools, the more we all get to benefit from it. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. That's cool. Microsoft has been, in the last few years, been on a tear open sourcing a lot of their shit too. And they're finally letting you do Linux stuff and Windows. It's kind of like a renaissance right now with a lot of companies open sourcing their tools, because it's generally good for everyone. So that's exciting. Also, this one right here, I'm going to pause the music. Does anyone here know about the Nex? Does anyone follow?
The next big thing?
The next big thing. So this guy, I forget his name, the dude with the skinny neck. He's been on YouTube for a while. He's memeified himself, and he's been really smart about it, actually. He's been on Your Mom's House podcast. He has some type of physical thing where his extremities are longer than usual, specifically his neck. And he has this catchphrase. He says, "Respect the neck." And he marketed himself so well that he was a guest on Your Mom's House podcast. And then this guy popped up on, what was it, Instagram or Twitter? I forget which one.
It was some social media platform. Just the mugshot of him with the thick neck.
Yeah. I thought it was photoshopped. I couldn't.
Uh-huh.
I
was
couldn't.
like, no, that can't be real. Like, it's a meme that's being spread around. It's probably came from some shady origins.
And the reason this video is so awesome is because it's a perfect example of like, so if you become a meme on the internet, right? You pretty much, you have two options, in my opinion. You either fight it and you look like a complete jackass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you embrace it and you weaponize it and you use it to your benefit, right?
Mm-hmm. And then you make a ton of money.
and this is a perfect example of two dudes who easily could have just been up in arms and like, oh, why are you making fun of my thick neck? Oh, the internet's mean. You guys are bullies. But these two guys saw the opportunity and they set it up to meet each other, and just like, it could not have been more perfect. So they made a video. Mm-hmm. the thinnest neck and the thickest neck have made it happen. They've made internet meme magic happen. So I wanted to play this video. We may have to, I don't know if it'll be on the YouTube because we may get copyright for it, but I couldn't refuse playing this video. It's too good.
Oh, and that fucking wide neck. Oh, he don't want no smoke.
Why that nigga daddy long neck? I'm about to beat his ass. Where he? I'm about to snap his ass.
Look at that, his neck.
Tighten up. Let's go.
Oh, neck matter.
All necks matter.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without.
The way they just present it, it's perfect.
If you feel like happiness is the truth.
And it's just like a couple weeks ago, it's like you never even like the white guy. It's like he's been around for a lot longer, but it's like weeks ago, most people hadn't even heard of either of them.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to give that a quick shout out. It's good stuff. That's how the internet should be. Just embrace the meme, weaponize that shit, and get your 5 minutes of fame. And a month from now, there's gonna be new memes. Don't fight it. Just let it happen. It's for the good of mankind.
The other best example of that is the flex tape. JonTron finally came back after almost a full year and comes out punching right out the gates with Flex Tape 2. And it's just, they took it to a whole other level. He had Phil Swift from Flex Tape in the video. It's like describing all this and just like showing how Flex Tape has entered mainstream. It's on Jimmy Kimmel. Like, and Shaquille O'Neal is like fixing holes in a bucket with Flex Tape and putting drinks in it.
Yes.
And it's like, when you use it to your advantage, you can only go up. Like, you embrace it, and it just works so well.
Yep. All right. And then this one was just a funny little clip. This is obviously edited. I thought it almost tricked me, but then I realized, like, when the camera pans, you can see that it's just like an edit. But I thought it was fantastic. I'm just going to play it. I don't need to explain it.
It works so well.
So for anyone who's listening to the podcast, it's in like an Irish pub or somewhere probably in Europe, and they're all looking up at a big screen, and it's got the if you ever watch The Office, it's a well-known meme of the little DVD thing, the screensaver that bounces around the screen, and everybody anxiously anticipates it bouncing perfectly in the corner. So somebody timed it and did a video edit of the pub all watching in anticipation as the DVD perfectly bounces in the corner. I thought it was hilarious.
And then the crowd roars in applause.
Yeah,
it's great.
It was a good edit. I saw it on Reddit. I thought it was worth mentioning. Put it out there. And then this one. James, you didn't know about this one.
I knew of the event. I saw this video specifically. Was like, oh, that Nickelodeon uploaded the high quality version to YouTube. I knew that, but that's like the full extent.
You didn't know about the petition?
I didn't know. I was not aware of the petition.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, I mean, obviously, probably everyone knows if you are on the internet, the creator of SpongeBob passed away. And so there's been a lot of really wonderful tributes, and it's been mostly, just like a lot of positive, remembrances and things going around the internet. And one thing that some people decided to do was to create a petition to have the Sweet Victory performance from SpongeBob play during the Super Bowl halftime show. And it's up to like 600,000 votes, I think. Like it's significant. And like there's been a huge outpouring of just like positivity and stuff. And so in response to that, Nickelodeon re-uploaded that scene, that performance on their official channel in high quality. I'm not going to play it because this one will definitely get me copyright.
High quality.
But you should definitely check it out and definitely sign the petition. If nothing else, James made a good point. Nickelodeon, it's a great opportunity for them they should just buy ad time and just play the whole thing. Just play it in its entirety as a commercial. Put a Nickelodeon logo at the bottom and just play it during a commercial break. I think it'd be fantastic. But I thought that was really cool. So yeah, check out the video, sign the petition, and show some love for SpongeBob SquarePants. We used to watch that screensaver logo for years in high school and always wanted to be perfectly hit in the corner, but it was so rare. Oh, he was talking about the DVD thing. Yeah. That's old school meme. That was a meme before memes. But anyway, the SpongeBob thing I thought was really cool. Finally, a couple more things we'll mention really quick. This is ridiculous. You guys may have seen this video. I think it was re-uploaded. So Michael Rapaport, he's a comedian and actor. He uploaded this video it's a really funny video, and I don't know. You guys just watch this. It's insane what happened.
We've reached a new fucking low on Instagram. You know my famous cat video with the cat that I said looks like my grandma? Well, Instagram has taken it down. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? A fucking cat? Hey, don't fucking look at me like that. That's a weird looking fucking cat. Ma! Yo, they took that fucking video down because they said I was shaming. Somehow or another, it's shaming. I'm shaming a fucking cat. You took a video down off Instagram of me shaming a fucking cat?
It's crazy.
The owners of that beautiful cat, Wilford Warrior, they didn't feel like I was shaming the cat. They thought it was funny.
So yeah, they took down the video because he was shaming a cat.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned in their response that he was shaming an individual. That's ridiculous. Shame litterbugs, not cats. Exactly, Meshyf. Let's beat up the litterbugs and leave the guys making funny cat meme videos alone. There's no reason to. And we could skip that one. It's ridiculous. Cats don't know what shaming is. It was a silly. Are you going to talk about Tumbler? I mean, other than the fact that it's been a huge pedophile ring for a long time and they're finally having to answer for it, when all they had to do was make their report button larger. It's not that hard.
Site's dying.
Make it easy to report shit and take it down when it's reported. I don't know. That whole situation never should have happened. That's entirely their fault. I don't feel bad for them at all. Tumblr has been a cesspool for a long time. I think I used Tumblr for like a week when it first came out, and I never touched it again. So I let it die. Personally, I don't have much to say about it. There's been a lot of garbage on it for a long time. I know a few people that use it legitimately. I know Swa Music had a pretty big Tumblr following and stuff, but I give zero shits about Tumblr.
I just love the quote from, I forget who was it, but it was when Yahoo bought it, and it's like, don't worry, if anything, Tumblr's gonna be going nothing but up. And then it's like this happened. It's like it was a long time coming.
Yeah. That was the CEO of Yahoo. I don't know. I honestly don't know too much about it other than the fact that they've gotten in trouble many times for child porn, not getting deleted quick enough, or like it's been a problem for a long time. People have been blatantly using it for nefarious purposes for a while, and it's their own fault for not creating policies and tools to prevent that. But yeah. Let them die. I don't mind. There's plenty of other platforms for people to use. We have too many
like
social
Newgrounds. They've been really capitalizing on that. They're like, guys, NSFW content is allowed on our site.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so I think they're trying to nab all the people leaving.
Yeah. And in closing, some free advertising for Beta Dwarf. If anyone didn't know, Minion Masters is doing a large tournament with a $25,000 prize pool. A lot of you guys know that we're Minion Masters patrons here. We play the game. We enjoy it. James is a high level. He's been, Grandmaster in previous seasons. He's won. He's never won first place, but he's placed in tournaments.
Not yet.
So
it's coming.
They're doing $25,000 prize pool tournament. It's free to play now. Didn't they just announce free to play on Steam as well?
Yeah, I think it was today.
Yeah.
Or no. Wait, when was it? Yeah, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, so it's free to play on Discord and Steam now, I believe. And I think you just have to grind to at least like the top 128 on the leaderboards. Just pick a cheesy deck and grind it out. If you got some free time, try and get in the tournament. Why not? It's a fun game. The beta.
So sad I can't compete.
James is going to be flying to California. You can't compete. Triple Zep, let's go. Yeah, where's Shady Hobos at? Let's get him in here.
It's like if I came top 8 in this tournament, that would be like 10 times the number of money I've ever earned from Minion Masters. Won't have the chance.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Good for them. They've got some sponsorships. They've got some prize money. Hopefully they can continue to promote Minion Masters in a positive way. My only beef with this tournament is that the 2v2 tournament, you have to be a Discord partner to enter, or one member of the 2v2 team has to be a Discord partner, which I get why they're doing it. They're trying to appeal to people who have a larger audience, like Twitch partners and Discord partners. But I don't know. I kind of feel the same way about this that I feel about the whole Crip thing. A lot of those people will come in, they'll compete, and they'll never play the game again. It's the same thing that happened with Crip in his community. Hopefully not. Hopefully people stick around and enjoy the game. But I think when you limit it that way, it kind of leaves a bad taste in people's mouth, especially the people who have been playing it for years. Mm-hmm. When you say, nope, sorry, you can't compete in this tournament. It's only for people who are cool enough, basically.
Especially 2v2. 2v2 is the fun mode. So when a bunch of people were asking about it in the Discord, and I'm just like, oh no, to be in the 2v2 tournament, you have to be a Discord partner. And they're like, oh, what's that? And I was like, oh, you have to earn these criteria. And they're like, oh, so I can't do it? And I'm like, pretty much, yeah. And they're just like, oh, okay.
You gotta find a Discord partner that you can chum up with. Well, you can't because you're gonna be traveling, but
people were already doing it for me. One of the Minion Masters devs was like, James, I already hit up a Discord partner. And I was like, oh, this James guy, he's pretty, he also streams on Twitch. He's pretty high level player. You could ask him to be your partner and earn some money.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was telling some other people too. I was like, unless you place 5th, 6th, or 7th, no, 7th, 6th, or 5th, and then 4th, you earn more money in the 2v2.
Okay. I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm. But then the 1v1, that's really interesting because when you put that much money in front of people, it's like a lot of people that weren't really interested in the tournaments are probably going to come compete when it's that much money.
Yeah. That's true. It is enough money, hopefully, to draw some new faces. My only concern is that they come in, they win the tournament, and then they go back to whatever they normally do, and their community goes with them. Hopefully, they convert some people. Now that it's free to play, I feel like it has a better chance of having some conversions than when the whole Crip thing happened. Like, basically, Crip played the game. They did a key giveaway with Crip. His community showed up, and most of them were just like shitting on the game and calling it pay to win and stuff. And then the numbers went up for like a few days, and then when Crip went back to his normal thing, his fan base went with him. So that I don't know. I hope that it gets some good exposure, and I hope it being free to play makes more people stick and download the game and try it. Because I feel like most people that try the game end up enjoying it. I feel like most people that play it are like, oh, this game's really fun. Because the games aren't very long. It's easy to learn, hard to master. It has everything that should make it a decent, growing game. But, you know,
it costs money.
Yeah. So hopefully the free-to-play thing helps. We finally gotten to the point where the floodgates should open up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we shall see. All right. Well, that was a solid podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about it. So. Anything else you wanted to talk about, James?
No, we covered pretty much everything. Unless you want to, talk about Artifact for another few hours.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot all about Artifact. We kind of went on a movie rant there for a while. It's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's worth the $20
right now.
A lot of people are hating on it. What was that?
I have a love-hate relationship with it. So it's like I'm not even phased about buying cards. I do Phantom Draft. It's basically free arena if you play at Hearthstone. But it's like sometimes I see it and I'm like, oh, I could just drop $40 and then just buy the cards straight up and have like everything you need. Because that's why I like it compared to other card games. Other ones, it's like, well, if you want to grind for a couple months, you'll get everything in time. But it's like, I could just drop $40 and then just buy a deck right out.
Well, and I love that it uses the marketplace personally, because a lot of people, like I have like CS skins and like Dota items and like a bunch of trading cards that are just sitting in my inventory, and it kind of like Artifact kind of gives me the motivation to actually go through and like put all that stuff on the market, because I could probably get enough money from the shit that I have in my inventory to buy most of the cards in Artifact.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly it's out of laziness that I don't sell all of my shit, because I have a Dota item that's worth like $10, and I have people message me that are like, hey, you want to sell that item? And I'm like, nah, just because I'm lazy, and just because like I don't know, maybe the value will go up if I just hold on to it long enough, but
yeah. And especially in Artifact, they make it so simple. It's just like
bulk buy and sell.
Yeah, it's just card collection. Add excess cards. Here's how much like all of them put together are worth. Sell. Oh, it's just one button. It's just one click.
Yep.
You want to buy a card. You can even just select unowned cards in the tab. It pops all of them up. You add them into a deck, and then it's like purchase unowned cards, and it gives you the price, the market price, and then you can just buy them right there.
Yeah, the fact that you can build your deck without owning the cards and then just say buy these cards to fill my deck, that's really cool.
Yeah, because right now it's like there's 3 hero cards, Axe, Drow Ranger, and Kana, that are like super expensive. But the moment someone finds another deck that doesn't need those cards, that's just as effective, because the game is pretty new.
Right.
The reason those ones are so expensive is because the strategy is pretty simple. The second someone figures out like the killer strategy that doesn't use those cards, those ones are probably going to fall while these new ones pick up. So you could just pick up all the commons for literally cents.
Yeah, and every time a new like season or a new like pack or whatever comes out, like the older stuff will get cheaper, so you'll be able to retroactively kind of fill the gaps in your deck as the price of older cards come down if you're missing a couple things. But I don't know. I like the fact that it's not like, you can buy packs, but I like the fact that you can just straight up buy the cards you want. I think that's an essential piece of the puzzle that a lot of card games miss. It's like, well, you can buy the packs and hope you get the cards you want and keep grinding for them, but like, I like the fact that you can just straight up say, oh, I need this card for this build. Boom. I bought it for 5 cents, like.
Yeah. Because in other, like Hearthstone, since that's the one I played the most, it's like technically you could build a competitive deck for free. You just have to get rid of your entire collection and only have a single deck.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, technically that works, but then you can't have fun just messing around with the cards.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's worth it, especially because with the $20, there's a lot of modes that you can play for free. Like
with Phantom Draft.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's like like you can try out all the new cards. There's like all these custom like draft card modes, and the only things that cost money are like the competitive modes, right? Because you have to use tickets, and some of them cost tickets and decks or tickets and packs, right?
Yeah, so it's you can do pre-constructed, which costs a ticket, and it's just you have your deck, you submit it, you use the ticket, and then you play. It's either you lose 2 or win 5. If you win 3, you get a ticket back. If you win 4, you get 2 tickets and you get 1 ticket and a card pack. If you win 5, then you get 2 tickets and 3 card packs.
Right.
So if you actually win consistently, you're getting your return, and then the sealed draft is, if you have 5 packs, then you just open the packs and then you choose, like, you pick and choose what cards you want.
Right. Okay. I don't know. It seems reasonable to me. A lot of people are mad about it because you have to pay $20 for the game and then you have to buy packs on top of that, but you don't. Like,
I think it's because people are used to stuff like Hearthstone and the other free-to-play ones,
right,
where it's like, oh, well, the game, I get in for free and I don't have to buy packs. I can earn them slowly over time. But then it's like, yeah, but if you compare like the cost of your time compared to just buying the card straight out, it's probably a lot cheaper.
Well, plus all of the modes that are free with that $20 price tag, like that you don't need it. Like, that's what I mean. You could pay $20 and not buy any cards or packs and still have a great time with. You could still have endless hours of just playing the free modes.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't see what the problem is personally, but I don't know.
The RNG keeps the games fresh.
Yeah.
Even when it's shitty RNG.
And I'm sure we'll have more to say about Artifact, and I'm sure that, there were some like graphical things people were requesting. Like some people said that the auto camera is super annoying. Like they just want to be able to stay zoomed out and just watch the game happen and zoom in when they need to. Things like that, which I could get behind. Like there should just at least be an option to turn off auto camera or whatever. I don't know. There's definitely some quality of life stuff that they could work on. And they will. I mean, they're not gonna let this baby die. They're gonna invest time and
they're skimming more money off every transaction. They're not gonna let it die.
No, they're gonna fix it. Whatever. They'll listen. I mean, Valve's been around long enough to know like when to listen and when not to listen to the community. I think a lot of this complaints about the packs and the cards and the marketplace and stuff, a lot of that'll blow over, and Valve will take the good and ignore the bad, and they'll make it a better game. So we'll see. I have high hopes. I think it's gonna be worth it. What little I've played of the game so far, I've really enjoyed, and I will probably continue to play it. And I look forward to the mobile version that comes out in 2019. Because they've already said that they're making a mobile version that's going to come out next year. So,
oh, nice.
And I think that's part of the reason.
My phone's battery.
I think that's part of the reason they went with the auto camera thing, is because the way the game is set up, it's actually pretty friendly to a phone, right? Because like you're always, the you do zoom out occasionally, but only long enough to pick a lane, and then you zoom back in. So whereas like MTGA is a lot harder to do on a phone, because there's situations where you've got like MTGA, you can have rows of cards on on one table, right? I don't know. I feel like Artifact I think they'll do a good job. They've designed it in a way that I think it will be playable on a phone. I think it'll be enjoyable, and hopefully, your accounts will be linked, so your progress on your phone, will carry over.
I'm sure it will.
That's the only thing that bugs me. I wish Diablo 3. I wish it was all the same. Because I'd love to play Diablo 3 on, my PlayStation and have that progress carry over to the PC, but it doesn't. It's two completely separate servers and stuff. But all the other ones, like Immortal and Hearthstone, and all, you can play on your phone and your PC, and it's the same account. You have your progress and everything. So I look forward to that, because I'll probably play it more on my phone than I will on my PC, honestly. When I'm at my PC, I'd rather play all the other games I have. But when I'm on my lunch break at work, or
a game of Artifact class, it might be hard.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It would be nice when you're waiting for like in a dentist's office for you're waiting in an appointment that is going to take a while. You're sitting at an airport.
Yeah,
those kinds of things. It's probably going to be great for that.
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe I don't know. I wonder if they'll tweak the timers or some of the stuff that makes the game feel like it's dragging. Because there's times where if it definitely drags. I think there's things they could do to encourage the players to play their cards a little faster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you see one of the tournaments that went on last week?
I didn't.
A few of the Hearthstone pros that were playing in the Artifact tournament, they lost games because they ran out of time.
Oh, there you go.
So the casters are just his strategy's this and this. He paydayed for 100 gold, and he bought his items that's really gonna make him win the game. And it just shows the player just thinking about something, and then it's just victory, and they're like, what just happened? They were spending so long on their turns that they just ran out of time, and the game's you lose.
Yeah. Which surprises me, because it gives you plenty of warnings. I remember when the few games I did play, it was popping up. It's auto forfeit if you don't play your shit. So I think that's good, though. I think that to keep the pace going with how much there is to do and think about, people could take forever. But maybe they should have different modes. Maybe they should have a mode that's the speed chess of make it even faster. Make it straight up speed
5
chess.
5-second turns. You get a minute in total to play the game, guys.
Just blap, bloop, bleep, blap. You'd probably see some interesting stuff come out of that, honestly. So yeah, that's Artifact. It'll be interesting. This is it's still in the infant state of the game. There's much to come for sure. It's probably a year from now. It's going to be a completely different game. I honestly think that there's going to be they're gonna patch the shit out of that game and update it, and they're gonna put a lot of time and energy into it. I think a couple years we're gonna be like, hey, remember when this game first came out? I mean, just look at Minion Masters.
Remember when Axe costed $25? Oh yeah. Now it's just $1.
I mean, look at Minion Masters or Diablo 3 or any of those games when they first came out. They're completely different now, The game will continue to evolve. I have no doubt. All right, man. 2 hours.
Right. Yeah.
We did it. We did a podcast after 2 weeks of nothing.
Oh no, Scrolls. Why you gotta hurt my heart like that, Goo?
Scrolls had potential.
It did.
Yeah.
But it would always live in Minecraft shadow.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't do enough to promote it, honestly. But that's a podcast for another day.
That's a podcast in of itself.
Yeah.
The rise and fall of Scrolls.
We'll get Notch on here and we'll interview him about Scrolls.
One day.
And eventually we'll talk about the whole PewDiePie thing, but I'm going to go eat dinner because I'm hungry. And
Same.
we'll be back next week. I'm going to send everyone over to Cardboard Cowboy because he's a handsome man and I love that guy. So we're going to go say hi to him. Thank you guys for being here. This has been Hit the Bucket. We'll be back next week, hopefully, barring any other life crisis or disasters. Make sure, please go check out the YouTube channel. Give us hit that little sub button if you could. I'd appreciate it very much. And let's go drop a raid on Mr. Cardboard Cowboy. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Everybody take care.